All right, so before I show you how to be able to do data exploration and have a quick pick of the individual information that you need from there, maybe if you're not going to do any forensic analysis, then it's possible that you are just going to pick some descriptive information from your data. So I'm going to show you quickly how to be able to do that. But before that, remember, I'm organizing a class, 2 months class, and that's going to start from 15th of September to 15th November. It's going to be on data science. And what is it? I've already prepared myself. If you check on my social media handles, you might have come across something like this. So that's how it is. It's going to cover these broad topics, as you can see around here. And then, yeah. And so this is the charge for it. Make sure that you pay attention to the charge, like I have here. And then, of course, some people have already started registering. As you can see, 14 people have already registered. And then, and we are expecting to have at least 20 to 30 people on the class. It's going to be about, if you check, so from 15th all the way to 15th September to November, we're going to be meeting about 4 times a week. And then each week or each meeting, it will be from like 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's 2 hours, and it's going to be virtual. So if you are interested to check this WhatsApp number, you can send a WhatsApp, and then and that is if you are ready to pay this fee for that particular duration. Yeah, so that's about it. So now let's switch on to data exploration. I'm just going to show you some few things about how to. If you're interested in this, then that is when we are going to deal with some of these things quite extensively. Data mining, we'll be looking at the entirety of how to mine data, how to analyze. We'll also be looking at data integrity, that's data transformation, data wrangling, data cleaning. We look at data analytics. Then we look at the various ways of analyzing data and what are the considerations that we put in before we analyze data. Then the analysis method we adopt, what is based on what. Then we come to the science of data, and then we look at data visualization and then interpretation. These are the broad topics, but under each of them, there will be several of them that we have to break it down. All right, so we are going to do everything in R programming. Yeah, so at a point, we'll switch on to a bit of, let's say, Excel, and then other programming languages that, or other data analysis languages that we know that we can actually pick some small knowledge from it. So that is it. If you are interested, please consider the fees before you can register. The link will be there. I'll put the link in the description box, and then you can, well, if you're interested, you will just want to register. Thank you. So now let me just give you a brief on how to be able to do data exploration, especially if you want to do descriptive statistics. You don't have to, do forensic analysis, inferential analysis. You just want to have a quick glimpse of your data and then pick some synopsis or some quick information from it. So I'm going to straight to my R Studio at the moment. Okay, I think, yeah, my screen is shared. So I'm going straight to my R Studio. So this is my R Studio. And as you can see, I have already got something, so what is data which is seated here. So I'm going to just push this aside. And then, of course, so I'm just going to copy whatever that is here. I had already done this, so I'm going to cut it. And this also, so R works exactly like the way Microsoft Office or Windows operate. You can cut, Control X will cut. So I have a data already set called IVF. Right, if I run that data, if I should, so you can see that data around here. Checking the console, it's quite a number. So if that is your data, the first thing you want to do, you want to have a view. You want to view the data in the first place. So you simply use view, and it's very important to always view your data. And then we can just do that. And then when we are viewing it, we are looking at it within the script panel. And so you can see the data. I mean, this is how it is. And then, yeah, so we get back there. We want to have how many rows are there, how many columns are there. So in that, if you want to know number of rows, we just say n row, and then so our n row is a function, and you put the data, the name of the data which is inside. So it's going to tell you that we have about 162 rows. That's the observations. And then if you want the number of columns, so we can also say n call. So I think we can just say n call. So number of columns, and then we just put the name of the data inside, and then it tells us that we have 77. If you want to look at the structure of the data, then we use this function. The structure will going to give you a description of, which of them are characters, which of them are numbers, which of them are the factors, and how many levels each factor has. So we just use the structure, and then we put the data inside, and then we run that. So you can always check in the, what is it here. So this is how the structure will present the data. You can see those that are numbers, and then in that order. So let me quickly clear then you just run that, and then when we pull up, we can see that it just has a data frame of 162, and then observation, that's number of rows, and then 77 variables, that's columns. And of course, we could have also used class to just have a glimpse of whatever that we have. So it is a data frame. Wanted to know the kind of data we are dealing with is a data frame. So if we want, we can also use summary like this, and then that will going to give us a clear, or going to give us some few. We know the minimum, the maximum, the interquartile, the median of each of the non-characters, non-categorical what variables, or non-character variables, and then the non-factors. So I'm just going to put the IVF, and then we run that, so we can see that, or we can see that all the variables which are numbers and the numerals, we can see they give us the minimum, for instance. So if I go up, you can see but the characters is simply going to give us the count. So we can see here, if we want to look at the maximum spans, we can see there are about 162 of them, and then the class is character, then in that order. But those that are not in that order, we can see we have minimum, so that's how the summary will go to give us the data. So if we come a little bit again, we may want to have, or can catch glimpse of it. So we say glimpse. The glimpse is going to give us perfect description of the data. So we have IVF. Then, so it's going to give us, so it can glimpse for us. So let's check. So it will tell us with the perfect description of the data. As you can see, those that are double, characters, factors, then in that order. That's how it looks like. So here, that is basically how we can. But what about if you want to put up if you want to select one variable? So you just have IVF like this, and then when you put your $sign to the data frame, we already know now is a data frame. You just want to select only the isolate or age in years. So when you do that, it's going to treat that one as simply, so we can see that it become a vector, and then we have printed it. So maybe we want only that one. We just want to know the age variable. What is it? And so if we have selected the age, we can just run that, and these are the individual ages. So if we want, we can just say we want to know the minimum age. So we're just going to use the function min, and then we put the IVF, then use the $sign, and then select the age like this and run it. So the minimum age is 26. The same way we can find out the maximum age. So we just use the word or the function maximum. We find the maximum age of this, and then we select that particular variable, which is, and then we run it, and that's 46. So it means we are in the range of 26 and then 46. So what is the mean age of the data or the individual we have? So we can just use the word mean, and then so we use the function mean, I think so. So the mean is here, and then we say of IVF, but we're not looking at the entire mean, we're looking at only the age. So we select age here and run it. So it tells us that the mean age is 36 point, that's about 37 years. So basically, that's how we can have a look at it. Sometimes, if you're not too statistical, then you don't want the what we are looking at here, or the numerals. You want to have a quick view of how what is it, a quick picture of how it is. So we've already selected, we could have just say a histogram. We want to look at the age distribution. So we can say histogram of IVF, and then we select that particular variable, the age distribution, which is here, and then we run that. So that's going to give us our, so as we can see, our age distribution is given to us around here. And so here. So I'm trying to zoom it, but it's taking a little while. So, but you can see it from here. Okay, then here it is. So we can see this is the age distribution. As we can see, we just have a quick glimpse of how it looks like. Yeah. So we could also have a quick look at how the data or any of the categorical variables. All right. So what we do is we can just also say maybe we'll select any of the categorical variable. So let me say we have IVF like this. So we have IVF, so we do this. So we can check any of the categorical variables. So I think this is a categorical variable. But if you want to find out, you can just come here and put class. I'm just going to put the class like this. Then I close this. I'm coming to close this and then run it. So it tells me that it's a character. So we are good to go. So what I'm simply going to do, just going to come here and then copy it, enter here, and then paste it, run it. And so it's simply going to print the individual characters here. So in that particular variable. So you can see all of them are characters. If you want to know how they are distributed, you can just plot it. But you cannot plot it this way. You need to convert it into factors. So what we're simply going to do is we will say, so we are going to plot it first. We use the plot function and we have to convert it into factors. So we say as factors, and then the factor is there, then we now put it inside there, right? So when we do that, we want to run it so we can see the distribution here. These are the quickest way to be able to have some understanding of your data. Okay, so we can see that in terms of that particular variable indicator for IVF, we can see how the factors are distributed. So it takes a little while for so we can see we have female, male, tuber, unexplained, and that is it. We could have added, then if you want, we can also check, or if we could have also looked for, maybe say a scatter plot. Okay, so maybe we wanted to have a scatter plot, and in that case, we just want to plot. So let me say we just want to plot or have a quick view of, let's say IVF. Then I'm going to select the one of the numerical. Okay, so we have number of oocytes here, and then we also have okay, we have IVF here, and then just select any of the other numerical or non-categorical this. So maybe we come here and look at how. So look at how it looks like. So we just decided to look at the scatter plots, and then we're looking at the number of oocytes as against the luteinizing. So we see, and then we just did a scatter plot, and then look at how it looks like. So we can see how what the data is running. So right. So these are the quickest way to be able to, pick some information from your data. It's so that's how we explore data. We start to explore and then pick some little things from there. Now, what about if we want to have a general impression about the data? The general impression. So we can use this function called visdat to visualize the data, and then we just put IVF inside. So when we put the IVF, then we run that. So it's going to give us a clear, so look at how it looks like. We can just have a glimpse of how this looks like. You see? Yep. So I'm just going to come here and look at it. So this is the quick way to, so you see the characters, type here, look at the key at the back here. You can see the characters, the integers, the numerals, and then the end is not available. And one beautiful thing about this is that this graph, it has given us the overview of the entire data set of all the 77 variables. But if you look at the magnitude, if you look at the orange color, or should I say the brown color, that's characters. It tells you that the characters are more than the integers and then the numerics. But look at the NAs. Where do we have the NAs? We can actually locate where the NAs are found. The NAs are found in this particular variable called IVF parameters, IVF protocol. That's where we have plenty of them. You can see the corresponding on top there. We also have some NAs around this particular two variables, as you can see them there. When you go to the numeric, we have at least one NA or two, which is located around here where my cursor is pointing. So this is a very quick way of catching a glimpse of what I was talking about. Now, we could we could have also said that, let me just copy the whole of this and come here, enter. So let me provide some small space. And then in this case, we are not going to catch glimpse of the entire data. So I'm just going to put there like this. And then let's say I want to catch glimpse of from 1 all the way to, let's say, variable 20, for from 3 to 20. So when we do that, we are not catching glimpse of the entire data. We're just picking from column 3 to column 20, and then we can look at how it is. So if we zoom it out, we can see. So these are the various ways we can actually select part of the data and just have a look at it. What about if we want to look at only the characters and then look at only the numbers? There are other ways of doing that, and I'm going to do that to show you that one pretty soon. So this is the other way. So from the column we have selected up to the other column, we see we have more of characters than integers, and then in that order. And then we can actually see where now exactly where the NAs are, and then we can actually correspond the NAs and whatsoever. This, if you know how to interpret categorical, descriptive statistic, this can actually give you an inside information. All right. So now let's say that we want to visualize only the characters. Okay. So we can just say we want to inspect. Okay, inspect. We want to inspect only the categorical. What is it? Variable. So this is IVF. We want to inspect only that. Okay. So if we do that, we're going to have. So it's going to generate a table for us. So let me clear this and then inspect it all over again for you to have a glimpse of it. So let's run that again. And so it builds that for us. See, so here it has given us, so but R will tell us that it cannot print all the rows. If we want to see all the rows, then we have to print it. So we have to use print n, and then what it does, and then before we're able to see. So look at it. Alcohol intake, we can look at the count, then we can look at the specific character, the NO, and then the percentage, the level, and then in that order. But if you cannot make sense from it, why don't you have a pictorial view of it? So to have a pictorial view, we use, so I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to come here and say show plots. So this particular function here is called show plot. Now put this inside, then. So what we are simply saying, we want to show a plot of how we inspected the categorical variable. So here you are, so you can see how they look like. And then, so if you can catch glimpse properly, so look at it, alcohol intake, you can see what the only N is there. Blood group, you can see plus. And so the bars tells you the magnitude of that particular group, and then again the other. So in terms of blood group, we can see plus, blood group O plus is more, uh, most of the people have blood group O plus. That's the easiest way to be able to interpret this. You can see occupation teachers here, and then you can check the bars, whichever the bar is, then in that order. We could have also, what do we want to with this? I'm just going to copy the whole of this, come here, paste it. And so here we are just going to inspect the, what is it, numbers. So in this case, we're inspecting all the non-categorical data. So that is the numeric data. And so that is it. So let's see whether we're going to have some, whether to be able to build it is, the data is quite huge. And then it might not be able to build it, but it's actually trying. Yeah. So it tells me that it has removed about 2 rows containing missing values. Yeah, that is it. But you see, it's taking time for us, so you can see how it looks like. The data is huge. That is why we are not able to have a complete pictorial view of what I was talking about. Now, after we have looked at it this way, maybe the categorical data, maybe we didn't want to actually show the entire, we didn't want to show the entire categorical. We could have just come here, then you go into the, and then select, maybe wanted the categorical variable, wanted to just select, let's say from the first row, or let's say from the fourth row all the way to the 17th row, and then we just have a look at that. So when we do that, so you see, so that gives us this beautiful graph where we can now have a clearer view. And then that is it. So basically, these are the various ways through which we can explore our data. But before I sign off, let me show you other ways of also, you know, so now you can see how it looks like, quite beautiful. Now, there are other functions that you can quickly have a clear information of what your data is all about, like the X tab. Use the X tabs like this. Then what we're simply doing, we want to at least look at the categorical variable, how many of them are found in our database. If you want to like tabulate them, put them in a tabular form, so that way you are able to know, okay, in terms of those who are, in terms of fertility, how many women were having this fertility issue, and then having that issue at the same time. So we can use X tab, for instance. So X tabs are there, and then we just use tilde, and then I'm going to say IVF here, and then I'm going to select educational level. So I have educational level here, and then use IVF again. Then use your dollar. That allows you to be able to select a variable. So, and then blood group, educational level, and then blood group. So we just want to create a table, a table. When we put, so let me say data, and the data should be equal to IVF. Now, when I come here, I don't need this again because I didn't know the variable names of her. That's why I added that. And so now when I do that and I run it, it should be able to, well, I think I've selected, yeah, here, I think that's where the error is. That's supposed to be plus. And here, so now you can see how it looks like. So now, in terms of blood group and educational level, okay, in terms of blood group O, basic school there was nobody from basic school, that's zero. Blood group A negative, we have 3 people from basic school. And then this is a very easy way to be able to also have a summary information of your data. You just use X tab and then you group them. You can have a tabular information, and this is very easy for anybody to correspond. If you want, we can also visualize this. We can convert it into, we can pack it into something, convert it into a matrix, and then we visualize it and we see how they are distributed. There are various ways through which we can easily catch the basic information that we need from our data before we go into the logistics and then the inferential analysis that we want to do. So the video has rather become quite longer. I wanted it to be short. So, but that's how we explore data. Thank you. And I will see you again. And then once again, let me say that if you are interested in our the masterclass data science that is coming up, I've already showed you this particular flyer. Remember, if you want, I'll put the link in the description box so that if you want, you can register and be part of it. It's going to be 2 months of solid data, and it's going to be in the evening so that it doesn't interfere with your normal day activities. And we'll be dealing with the issues we'll be dealing with the explain the how things are, explain the codes, explain the results, and then have a clearer understanding of all the art of data, and then the secret behind data analysis. And of course, I've already said that some people have already started registering, like 14 people have already registered. And then here it is. I'm just going to, I can just come here, copy the link, and then, of course, so I've copied the link here. I'm just going to put it in the description box, and then everybody at all can have. So I'm going to put it here. So everybody, if you are interested, it becomes very easy. So you can just tap on it and then you register, and then happy to be part of what I'll be happy if you are part of this. Thank you. I'll see you some other time. Bye bye.